Good morning, everyone, and can I wish everybody, all Queenslanders right throughout Queensland, and of course our Facebook followers, a very happy Easter and of course a safe and enjoyable Easter. And this Easter, the Palaszczuk government is encouraging everyone to obviously be kind and respectful to workers. They are giving up their time, including our journalists and our camera people and our workers here this morning, and we ask that of course you be very respectful and kind to those workers. I mean, Easter is a time to be with loved ones, with family members, and to enjoy this beautiful Brisbane weather and of course Queensland weather that we're having at the moment, and it is truly a fantastic day here in Brisbane. But obviously if you are being served, no one deserves a serve, and so please be kind and respectful to workers. They are giving up of their time, and we've met many of them in the fine establishments that we are able to be served throughout Queensland, whether it's in retail or hospitality, health services, whatever service is open this morning. We ask that you be respectful and kind to workers who are working today and giving up their valuable family time. In addition, we know that this is a special time of the year and many families have made their way to Queensland. I'm sure that New Farm Park today will be full of families enjoying the beautiful outdoor settings here in this magnificent space. And so obviously those workers that are working deserve their penalty rates, and I'm very proud as Minister for Industrial Relations to have made Easter Sunday a public holiday in 2017. So we urge all employers to reward their staff by paying the correct penalty rates and ensuring that they have an enjoyable day by giving up of their time with loved ones and obviously working to serve those that come to the many workplaces that are open around Queensland today. Obviously Easter is being a very busy time here in Queensland, and we ask that all families to also have an enjoyable but a safe time. If you are travelling, please ensure that you abide by all the traffic regulations on the road. Please don't speed. Make sure that we get you home safe and sound, particularly if you're travelling tomorrow, so that we can have a very enjoyable and safe Easter holiday at the same time. Now, after Easter Monday, we'll be welcoming students and staff and teachers back to school on Tuesday morning. And I'm very pleased to say that all the 6 schools that were flooded and closed or partially closed due to the flooding devastation that took place in those schools will be welcoming students and staff back to those schools on Tuesday. This is truly a remarkable effort by my Department of Education, but also the Department of Public Works, who have gone above and beyond to ensure that those 6 schools are open fully for students on Tuesday morning. It's been an incredible amount of work that has taken place, replacing walls, carpet, coverings, painting, air conditioners, lighting, electrical upgrades. It's been an incredible amount of work, and to have them all open and welcoming students on Tuesday, as I said, has been a fantastic job. Now, some schools will still have a little bit of work happening. Rocklea has been fully established, Rocklea State School, with new relocatable buildings, welcoming those students back, and other schools obviously have been fully renovated and made safe after the terrible floods had impacted them quite severely. So good to see that. I want to thank all the staff, obviously the students who were very patient in travelling to other schools, like Rocklea went to Salisbury, and I think Milton went to 4 other schools that accommodated them in Brisbane. So thank them very much for all of their efforts, but in particular can I thank the Department of Education and the Public Works for their outstanding efforts in making sure that these schools and all other schools that were impacted are now open to students and staff. So happy Easter, everyone. Please enjoy the hospitality that's out there, enjoy all the settings in Queensland, but please be sure that we are kind and respectful to workers today. It is, after all, a public holiday. They're giving up of their valuable family time, and we ask employers to make sure that they pay the right penalty rates so that they can be rewarded for the time that they give up with family and friends. And I'm happy to take any questions.
Workers at airports have been pretty run off their feedback
Yes, look, the scenes at the airports have been quite concerning, to be honest with you, and it's good to see that a lot of people are travelling now, that they're feeling, you know, more than safe and wanting to enjoy their time up here in Queensland, amongst other places, of course. But it is concerning that those workers have been run off their feet. It does appear that they are short-staffed at the moment, and plus the demand of people wanting to travel. So a thought out to all those airport workers, and make sure that we're kind and respectful to them as well.
Do you think the airlines should be better prepared, or will the companies obviously running, like, I guess, the hospitality businesses as well?
Clearly, I think airlines would have known what bookings they had, and we would have liked for them to have been more prepared. Putting that additional stress on staff at a busy time of the year, if we could be avoided, I'm sure hopefully they would have done so. But yeah, can I say once again, let's be kind to them. We know sometimes it can be frustrating waiting in queues, but obviously giving them a serve while they're serving you is not helping anybody.
Certainly with a lot of hospitality businesses that we see across Brisbane, there's still signs up everywhere, people looking for staff, and in a lot of cases that's obviously contributing to waiting queues. So I think the government should be doing to help contribute to a lot of these businesses that just can't find the staff to operate.
Yes, look, we had a workforce summit last month where we discussed all of these staff shortages, how can we get the skills and training and experience of staff, how can employers attract and retain staff. But look, isn't it exciting that our economic recovery plan is really working? The unemployment rate is fairly low. Queensland hit 4% in the last figures that just came out, so we matched the Australia rate. And it's wonderful to see that employers are now employing, having confidence. The COVID-19 economic recovery is certainly happening here in Queensland, if not around Australia. But yes, this is all about trying to work with business and industry about how do we attract and retain staff, and what can we do as a government to assist in the training and the upskilling and the promotion of the needs of the industry. We've had a lot of, come and work in the Sunshine State, and we've paid relocation funds through different programs that we've had, but we'll continue to work close with industry and businesses to make sure they get the staff that they require.
Minister, just onto the flooding, how much schooling was impacted, and what did the students miss?
Yeah, it's been an amazing story, this, in that many students missed out hardly any schooling at all, other than the time where obviously schools were closed because of the significant damage and the water that was still in those buildings. But all of the schools have been able to either travel to another school, have been able to do remote learning, and have really caught up on all of the curriculum that needed to be delivered for Term 1. Term 1 has been a term like no other. No sooner did we have the COVID impact in the beginning of the school term, we then obviously had the rain bomb and the flooding that occurred, but students, staff, teachers, teacher aides do a remarkable job, and they did deserve a well-earned break when school broke up on the 1st of April, but they're due back now on Tuesday, and hopefully refreshed and welcome back to those schools that could no longer take them, the 6 schools, because of the flooding. They will open their doors. I'm sure the red carpet will be rolled out, and the students will be very keen to walk in alongside with the staff.
Obviously that rain event was quite incredible, but was there any special consideration to the design of these new buildings in terms of flood-proofing them?
Yeah, look, that's a really good question. We needed to obviously have a short-term solution to get the students back in those schools. So what we do is repair the damage that was caused to get them back in, so we can make them safe and welcome the school. That's the short term. And now we're looking on a betterment flood mitigation strategy and a betterment building program, so that those buildings can be flood safe, and that's been put together by the Queensland Reconstruction Authority. We've already got the housing one now, where finally we had the federal government come on board on a 50-50 basis, so we can relocate some homes where that's required. We can help those families lift their houses above the flood line, and we can do some mitigation, real mitigation work, so that they're not impacted again in the future. We now want to do the same with infrastructure, and schools is one of those. They're fully renovated, but obviously it's a temporary measure until we can do the flood mitigation and betterment program.
How much were those temporary measures costing, and how much was the overall damage?
Yeah, look, we're still assessing the overall damage, because there were many schools that had water damage, and we're collecting all that information. The estimates is it's about $30 million to bring the 6-7 schools that were severely impacted up to speed. I mean, when you walked into these schools, it was incredible to see them. I think there were many the filming that was done, and we were really surprised at the level of damage that happens when floodwater enter these buildings. About $30 million was spent on getting those up to speed. Overall, I think we're around 40 to 50 million. That's all insurance, obviously, all insurance funds that are spent on bringing these schools up to speed. But we do want to see a longer-term flood mitigation and betterment strategy put in place, and we'll work with the Queensland Reconstruction Authority and on a package going forward.
Minister, this morning's paper, $250 million in fines raked in by the Queensland Government, more than $400 a minute paid by Queenslanders. Fines are going to jump up again quite substantially in a couple of months. Is this just a cash grab?
Well, it isn't, because unless you speed and unless you break the road regulations, this is a very busy time of the year where we need those regulations and those rules to be put in place. If you don't speed, if you wear your seatbelt, if you do all the right things, you will never be fined.
Do you know if the budget's kind of hinging on, making more money out of tickets next financial year?
No, the budget doesn't hinge on that. It's a multi-billion-dollar budget, and the amount of money that we collect in fines, we'd love to collect no money in fines and everyone do the right thing. So I urge everyone, once again, please be safe on our road, follow all the road safety rules, follow the speed limits, wear your seatbelt, don't play with your mobile phone and you won't be fined.
The opposition's criticised that $2 billion hospital fund, the health fund that was announced in the budget last year, saying, where is the money, why isn't it being spent, given what we're seeing from our hospitals? Would you like to see that money being allocated faster, given the stress that health workers are under at the moment?
Well, I'm on the Infrastructure Cabinet Committee, and let me tell you, on the agenda every time we meet, we only met last week, health infrastructure is on the agenda. We are rolling it out. We are doing the best that we can to provide the best facilities in Queensland. I know the Premier recently opened up the new Kingaroy Hospital, which is a marvellous facility out in Kingaroy, and we will continue to roll out our satellite hospitals, and we are working very much towards ensuring that we get the hospital facilities, the school facilities, all the facilities that we continue to build for a growing, beautiful Queensland state.
Fair enough, Kingaroy, but some of these hospitals in the southeast are getting absolutely slammed, like the PA, Prince Charles, Logan. Why can't you move faster to improve capacity there so they can deal with the surges that we saw earlier last week?
Yeah, well, look, we are moving as fast as we can. As you know, there are pressures on building at the moment. COVID-19 has brought about additional pressures, not only price but availability. We're doing the best we can. We want to roll them out as soon as we possibly can. The Infrastructure Committee looks closely at the timing, the planning, the value for money and the funding that is being allocated to do that, and we will do it as soon as we possibly can. I mean, the federal government, I think, rorted car parks, had a cash rort about car parks, and the whole term couldn't even build one. So, we're talking about some marvellous hospitals that we want to build, and we are certainly working towards delivering those quality facilities as soon as we can for Queenslanders, but we can't hide from the fact that we are in an environment where there's pressure on building. That's it. Thank you. Happy Easter, everyone.
Thank you.